The today lecture is about our DNA replication. DNA replication is a very important biological process which is important during the inheritance as well as during the DNA repair reactions caused by different types of the DNA damaging agents present in the environment. So the replication is the biological process of producing two identical copies of DNA from one original DNA molecule. So during the process of DNA replication from a parental DNA duplex, two new strands of DNA are produced. DNA replication occurs in all living organisms, acting as the most essential part of biological inheritance. So the process of DNA replication is very important for all living organisms, and it is the basis of the biological inheritance, the transmission of characters from the parents to the offspring. Its basis is the DNA replication. The replication of duplex DNA is a complicated endeavor involving multiple enzyme complexes. During the process of replication, a number of different enzymes they participate. Different activities are involved in the stages of initiation, elongation, and termination. So the process of DNA replication, it begins with the relaxation of the supercoiled DNA molecule, then the process of the replication initiation, and then the replication force, it moves along, and this is the elongation phase, and then at the end, the two new DNA molecules are formed at the termination stage. Before initiation can occur, however, the supercoiled chromosome must be relaxed. So before the initiation of the replication, the DNA molecule is in the form of supercoiled structure. So this supercoiled structure, the DNA molecule, it must be relaxed before the process of DNA replication can be started. This occurs in segments beginning with the replication origin region. So this relaxation process starts in the replication origin region and it moves forward. This alteration to the structure of the chromosome is accomplished by the enzyme topoisomerase. The enzyme involved in the relaxation of the supercoiled DNA molecule is known as topoisomerase. Replication cannot occur on supercoiled DNA. It can only occur in the relaxed form. So the DNA molecule, it must be relaxed before the process of replication can be started. So this figure, it depicts the total process of replication very precisely. This is the DNA molecule, and here is the origin. At the origin, the proteins bind to origin and separate DNA strands. At the origin, the different proteins they bind and separate the DNA duplex. And now the DNA duplex here is in the single-stranded form. Then the DNA polymerase and other proteins assemble into replisome. So a different protein complex, they assemble into a structure known as the replisome. This replisome synthesizes daughter strands. So under the control of the replisome, the new strands of DNA are synthesized. So from the parental strands, two new DNA double strands are produced. So then the detailed process of the replication, the first step during the replication process is the initiation. Initiation involves recognition of an origin by a complex of proteins. So a complex of proteins, they recognize the origin where the replication is to be started. Before DNA synthesis begins, the parental strand must be separated and transiently stabilized in the single-stranded state. So before the DNA synthesis begins, the DNA duplex, it is separated and transiently stabilized in the single-stranded form, and it creates a replication bubble. So due to the separation of the DNA duplex, a replication bubble is formed, and in this replication bubble, the process of replication goes on. After this stage, synthesis of data strands can be initiated at the replication form. So at the replication form, the synthesis of the new data strands is initiated. After the initiation process, the replication force moves forward, and then there is the elongation phase. Elongation is undertaken by another complex of proteins. The replisome exists only as a protein complex associated with the particular structure that DNA takes at the replication form. So this protein complex, it uh, it goes forward, and the new DNA strands are synthesized under the control of the replisome. The replisome does not exist as an independent unit. The replisome does not exist as an independent unit. For example, the ribosome, it can exist as independent structure, but the replisome, it does not exist as independent structure. It only exists associated with the single-stranded DNA molecule. It assembles de novo at the origin of each replication cycle. This replisome, it assembles de novo. It means that anew. It assembles anew during each replication cycle. As the replisome moves along DNA, the parental strands unwind. So as the replisome moves along the DNA, the parental strands go on unwinding, and data strands are synthesized. At the end of the replicon, joining and termination reactions are necessary. So at the end of the replicon, there may be the joining of the termination reactions. Following termination, the duplicate chromosomes must be separated. So when the DNA replication it goes at the termination stage, the duplicate chromosomes they separate from one another. So the newly synthesized DNA, it goes into the newly separated chromosomes. The inability to replicate DNA, it is very fatal or lethal for the growing cell. For a growing cell, if it loses the ability to replicate, the cell cannot exist for a longer time. Mutants for replication must therefore be obtained as conditional lethals. So the mutants which are deficient in the replication process, they are known as the conditional lethals. These are able to accomplish replication under permissive conditions. So these conditional lethals, they can only accomplish replication under certain conditions, but they cannot undertake the process of replication under certain other conditions known as restrictive conditions. So the conditional lethals, they can accomplish replication only under the permissive conditions. These permissive conditions are provided by the normal temperature of incubation, but they are defective under non-permissive or restricted conditions provided by the high temperature of 42 degrees centigrade. So the conditional lethals, they can undertake replication under certain conditions, but they cannot undertake replication on another set of conditions. The conditions under which the replication can take place in the conditional lethals, these conditions are known as permissive conditions. And those conditions under which the replication in the conditional mutations cannot take place, those conditions are known as non-permissive or restricted conditions. So the temperature in case the permissive condition is the normal room temperature, while in case of the restricted or non-permissive conditions, the temperature range is about 42 or a higher degree centigrade. A comprehensive series of such temperature-sensitive notation in E. coli identifies a set of loci called the DNA gene. So the genes which are involved in the replication, they are known as DNA genes. So these genes have been identified by the temperature sensitive mutants. The DNA mutants distinguish two stages of replication by their behavior when the temperature is raised. So the DNA mutants, the mutants which are deficient in the replication process, they distinguish two stages of replication: the permissive conditions and the restricted conditions. So these conditional mutants, they can be classified into two types. One is the quick stop mutants and another one is the slow stop mutants. In case of quick stop mutants, the members of this class cease replication immediately upon a temperature increase. So in the case of the quick stop mutants, their replication ceases whenever there is increase in the temperature. So their replication immediately stops if the temperature is increased. They are defective in the components of the replication apparatus. So these quick stop mutants, they are defective in replication apparatus. Different components of the replication apparatus, such as enzymes needed for elongation, but they also include defects in the supply of essential precursors. So the quick-start mutants, they are deficient in different components of the replication apparatus, such as the enzymes needed for elongation. The second type of the conditional mutants, known as slow-start mutants, these complete the current round of replication. So the slow start mutants, they can complete the current round of replication, but cannot start another. But they cannot start the next round of replication. They are defective in the events involved in initiating a new cycle of replication at the origin. So the slow start mutants, they are deficient in the in in the enzymes which can initiate a new cycle of replication. But these slow start mutants, they will complete the current round of replication. So the conditional mutants, they are classified as quick start mutants and slow start mutants. The quick start mutants, they will cease replication when there is rise in temperature immediately. So the replication ceases immediately when the temperature is increased. But in case of slow start mutants, if the temperature is increased, their current round of replication will continue and will be completed. But they cannot start the next round or next cycle of replication. In vitro complementation assays used to identify the components of the replication apparatus. So in this in vitro complementation assay, an in vitro system for replication is prepared from a DNA mutant and is operated under conditions in which the mutant gene product is inactive. Extracts from wild type cells are tested for their ability to restore activity. So the in vitro system, the DNA mutant is mixed with the wild type cell and the wild type, the extracts from the wild type cell, they are tested for their ability to restore the activity. The protein encoded by the DNA locus is purified by identifying the active component in the extract. So in that extract, the component which is active, it is purified and identified. So the DNA locus the product of the DNA locus is identified by the in vitro complementation analysis. There are the analogies in the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic replisome. So there are the different analogies in case of the prokaryotic replisome and the eukaryotic replisome. Each component of the bacterial replication process is now available for study in vitro as a biochemically pure product. So different components involved in the replication in case of the bacteria, now they are available for their study in vitro conditions, and it is implicated in vivo by mutations in its genes. So this system it can be manipulated in vivo by the mutations in that particular gene which is responsible for that particular component of the replication. Analogous eukaryotic chromosomal replication systems have largely developed. So, on the basis of the studies in the bacteria, the eukaryotic chromosomal replication systems they have been developed. The studies of individual replication components show a high structural and functional similarity with the bacterial replication. So, by these studies, there are the similarities in case of the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic replication. DNA polymerases, these are the enzymes which are involved in case of the DNA replication and repair reaction. So DNA synthesis takes place in two different reactions. One is the major component is the semi-conservative replication, which is important before the cell division. And the second type of DNA synthesis takes place in the repair reactions when the DNA is damaged. This damage is repaired, and during this repair system, the DNA is also synthesized. A bacterium or eukaryotic cell has several different DNA polymerase enzymes. The prokaryotes as well as the eukaryotes, they have several different types of DNA polymerase enzymes, and these DNA polymerase enzymes, one of their functions is the replication, semi-conservative replication, and they are also involved in the repair reactions. There are two basic types of DNA synthesis: semi-conservative replication. During semi-conservative replication, enzyme that can synthesize a new DNA strand on a template strand is called a DNA polymerase. Or more properly and precisely, this enzyme is known as DNA-dependent DNA polymerase. The enzyme involved during the semi-conservative replication is known as DNA-dependent DNA polymerase. And second one is the DNA repair system. And during this repair system, different polymerases they participate. An enzyme that can synthesize a new DNA strand on a template strand is called a DNA polymerase, or more properly DNA-dependent polymerase. Both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells contain multiple DNA polymerase activities. So the prokaryotic as well as the eukaryotic cells, they have the different types of the DNA polymerase enzymes. Only a few of these DNA polymerase enzymes, they actually undertake replication. Those that do sometimes are called DNA replicases. So the enzymes, the DNA polymerases which undertake the replication process, they are generally known as replicases. The remaining enzymes are involved in repair synthesis or participate in subsidiary roles during the replication. So the most of the DNA polymerase enzymes, they participate in subsidiary processes of the DNA replication. So this is the semi-conservative replication. The process of semi-conservative replication, it is depicted in this figure. So these are the two a DNA duplex, and here is the DNA duplex parent strand 1, and this DNA duplex parent strand 2nd. So the leading strand, the DNA synthesis, the DNA replication process goes on in this direction in the leading strand, and also it goes on the replication process also goes on in this direction in the lagging strand. But in case of the lagging strand, the synthesis, DNA synthesis, the DNA synthesis, it takes place in this direction from the 5 prime to the 3 prime direction. And later on, these different segments which are produced, they can be joined, and these fragments, they are known as Okazaki fragments. So in case of the replication, semi-conservative replication, they are the two strands which are the newly synthesized. One is the leading strand, which is shown here, and the second one is the lagging strand. So the synthesis in case of the DNA leading strand and in case of the DNA lagging strand is different. So the DNA synthesis, this diagram, it depicts all the minute details of the semi-conservative replication. The two strands which newly synthesized two strands, they are known. One is the leading strand in which the synthesis goes on from the 5 prime towards the 3 prime direction. And in case of the lagging strand, the synthesis is also from the 5 prime to the 3 prime direction. And these fragments, they are synthesized one by one, and then they are joined together, and so the lagging strand application is completed. The second DNA synthesis reaction is the DNA repair. In case there is damage to the DNA, here is the damage to the DNA. This damaged base, first the damaged segment is degraded, and then the new strand of DNA is synthesized, shown here. So in this, in the DNA repair system, the DNA synthesis also takes place. The DNA synthesis, it is anti-parallel, and it moves from the 5 prime to the 3 prime direction. So the DNA synthesis, it takes place from the 5 prime to the 3 prime direction, and it is shown here. This is the 5 prime end, and this is the free 3 prime hydroxyl end. To this 3 prime end, the new nucleotides, they are added to this end. So the DNA synthesis process goes on towards this direction. The new nucleotides, incoming nucleotide has 5 prime triphosphate. So the new nucleotide is joined, and this is the 3 prime hydroxyl end. And after the joining of this nucleotide, the diphosphate is released. So the diphosphate is released, only one phosphate group is maintained in this nucleotide. The 2 phosphate groups, they are removed. So the synthesis of the DNA is from the 5 prime to the 3 prime direction. The new nucleotides, they are added to the free 3 prime hydroxyl end. Some DNA polymerases, such as the repair polymerases, function as independent enzymes. So the DNA polymerases which are involved in the DNA repair reactions, they exist as independent enzymes. Whereas others, such as the replication polymerases, they are incorporated into a large protein assemblies called holoenzymes. So the enzymes involved in the DNA replication, they exist in the form of protein assemblies, and these protein assemblies are the holoenzymes. The DNA synthesizes subunit is only one of several functions of the holoenzyme, which typically contains other activities concerned with fidelity. So the one function of these the holoenzymes is the DNA synthesis, but their major activities they are involved in the fidelity. Fidelity means the stability of the DNA molecule. Accuracy of the replication. So the different DNA polymerases, their major function is the accuracy during the replication process. So the different DNA polymerases which have been characterized in E. coli, in bacterium, Escherichia coli, they are detailed here. The enzyme DNA polymerase first. The gene responsible for DNA polymerase first is the polymerase A, pol A. Its function, the function of this DNA polymerase 1 is the major repair enzyme. This enzyme is involved with the repair reactions in case of the damage caused to the DNA. The DNA polymerase second, it is involved in the replication restart process and the gene responsible for it is pol B. The DNA polymerase third, the gene responsible for this protein for this enzyme is pol C and it is the replicase. It is involved during the replication process. Then the polymerase fourth and polymerase fifth, their function is translinear replication during the translinear replication. It means that where there is the damage to the replication, there is incorrect, there is some incorrect strand, DNA strand, there is a damaged DNA strand. It is bypassed during the replication process, and this replication is under the control of the two polymerase enzymes, the polymerase fourth and fifth. So this is the detail about the different DNA polymerases which have been characterized in case of the enzyme Escherichia coli. So in this lecture we have given the some detail about the replication process, what is the replication process and what is the different components involved in this process, and what are the different phases during this process, the different phases during the replication process. First one is the initiation, then is the elongation, and then is the termination. So these are the different phases during the replication process, and then different enzymes they take part during the process of replication. The major enzymes, they are the DNA polymerases, and there are different types of DNA polymerases, and these different types of the DNA polymerases, they are the detail of these enzymes is given in this table. So with this, we stop the lecture DNA replication. Hope that the different aspects during the DNA replication they are covered and precisely described here.